According to a new report released by Visa, fewer than 2% of South African women are invested in direct equity, and many of those who are consider it their worst investment decision ever. This is Tonight. I am Bruce Whitfield, and tonight we find out just how true that is or not. Joining me this evening is Norma Stapelberg from Consolidated and Hilda Lunderstedt, chairperson of Imbalie Beauty. But it wasn't all about Imbalie Beauty. What happened was that there was a bedroom involved, there were some potions involved, and a sale to Adcock Ingram that created an original fortune. And that's how it did start. I mean, you started Nutri-Leader in your spare bedroom.
That's right.
I mean, we hear about garage startups in the IT industry. When we talk about vitamins and health products, tell me how it happened.
I saw the trend in the nutraceuticals growing, and I think doing research just to sort of more as an advisory to my clients. At that point, I found grapeseed extract, and that was it. I knew I had to do something. I didn't know where it was going to lead to, and 10 years later, we were the biggest and rather profitable organisation in the country.
So Nutri-Leader grows out of a bedroom into premises and then is ultimately sold to Adcock Ingram?
That's right.
Okay, so Adcock Ingram then owns Nutri-Leader. You cash in, or cash out, I suppose, and take the spoils of this. Do you mind sharing what the volume of the spoils?
What do you mean the volume of the
How much money did you make?
That's confidential. We're not allowed to.
But you made many millions. You made many millions.
Substantial, and it's creating my dream life.
Okay.
At the moment.
At that point, though, you could have taken that money, and you could have invested it. You could have given it to a financial advisor, and you could have said, "Send the dividend check to the Bahamas. Here's my address. I'm going to the beach." You chose not to do that. You went back into the listed sector. Why?
At summer, I initially considered all of those options, and because reasons that I had to stay in the country, I had 2 little kids, I can't just up and go anywhere. I sort of been dragged back into business, and I got involved in Imbalie Beauty at the point where they needed to make an acquisition.
This was the old Plastical, right?
This is the old Plastical. The listed vehicle was Skinwell, and so I put some money behind the acquisition, and we created the largest beauty franchise business in the country, which is now ready for expansion. I like growing big businesses and dominating industries that we're operating in.
But I see, now that's what's so interesting about this, because not everybody's got a Hilda story, Norma.
She's amazing.
Thank you.
She's made a fortune, and she could have opted out at that particular point, yet she's hungry for greater achievement. In that sort of scenario, many people would have gone, "I've made my fortune, I can now have the life I've always dreamed of," and they could have invested the money. I mean, did she make the right call? Because that business, I bet you, Imbalie will grow a lot faster than the market will grow.
That's interesting. It depends. It depends on your point of view. Look, obviously, Hilda has the ability to start from scratch and grow into massive something. Other people will, for example, I would just buy her share. Because if I had to pay her salary, I couldn't afford her. So you know what, I'll just buy a piece of her company and get dividends from that.
Many women, though,
Same difference.
Yeah, more and more women are involved in the workplace. More and more women are becoming financially independent. More and more women, like Hilda, are able to make those decisions for themselves, either to invest in a business or take money out of that business and diversify risk. Is she got a little enough risk in her portfolio, you wonder, when it comes to having her own business versus taking money and just chucking it at the market broadly?
Look, the behavioural scientists have been doing research since 1977 to try and determine women generally make more conservative investment decisions than our counterparts.
Absolutely. Far more sensible as well.
Definitely.
Well, sensible is relative. You know, you could end up saving yourself poor. You know, if you're investing in a money market, which is giving you a net after-tax return of less than inflation, that is not effective. So women are information gatherers, you know, to quote that topic.
But we've all seen Defending the Caveman.
That's exactly, thank you for bringing me, I can't remember the name. But women are generally information gatherers, so the investment decisions that we make is generally based on information and a little bit of instinct. Men, however, are more instinctive. And far more aggressive. So if you can find the balance, that's the ideal.
Okay. How long have you been invested in Imbalie Health?
About 2 years now, but I just want to correct, it's not my only investment.
No, of course not. No,
Obviously, I didn't throw boots and all
I am going there.
Yeah, okay, so I just want to say, I don't want to sound like I was impulsive and just bought threw all my money into one.
But you own 23% of Imbalie Health. Over the last 2 years, what has performed better? Your investment in Imbalie Health or the investments that you took from the spoils of Adcock Ingram and diversified elsewhere?
It's, my investment portfolio is structured to, we're not shooting the lights out, we want to grow over time. So
being sensible and conservative and...
You see what she's doing?
No, but compound, what am I doing?
Absolutely.
You're doing exactly what the researchers say. It's all good. Keep going.
Okay, so, it's rather than I want to double my money every 3 years.
Absolutely.
So our investment decisions is made on that instead of make one thing that can 300% or you lose all your money.
Absolutely.
So Imbalie is still sort of in the early phases of growth. So it's pretty on par at the moment with the share price goes up and then goes down. So it's very difficult to say when you have a private company and an unlisted, you can probably dictate better what your investment's going to be than what the market, depending on what the market likes at that point. So Imbalie, I believe, will be over time a really good investment.
But that's the point.
Did you see what was interesting? I'm sorry to.
Please do.
Did you see what was interesting? If there had been a man here, he would have gone, I went boots and all. Did you see her immediately? She went, I wasn't impulsive.
No.
You see, that's what we do.
Oh,
Us
really?
girls. Yeah, we think, but sometimes we overthink it, and then we don't capitalize on things like bull markets.
But there's the diversification of risk. So let's say, for example, you sell an asset. I'm picking a number. Say you get 10 million rand out of an asset, and you choose to invest half of that in yourself, in a project, in a business. Let's call it Imbalie for argument's sake. You put it into Imbalie, and that's where you're taking risk. That's where you're betting on yourself, you're betting on your colleagues, you're betting on a concept, and this is something that could grow by 10 times in 10 years. It could be the big winner. You take the other 5 and you invest it in markets, but you don't invest it aggressively. You do, I don't know, inflation plus 4. That's pretty conservative.
It is conservative. Look, the rule of 72 says that you need to earn 14.78% per annum.
Okay, so you've got to go, but you've got to do twice inflation plus a bit.
To double your capital every 5 years.
She doesn't want to do that. She's not greedy.
Oh, she's a
3
smart
years.
girl. Exactly. She's
3
a
years.
smart kitty. But she's unique to the general, to women generally. Women generally would go inflation plus 4 because it sounds safe. But risk is a word that when you don't do it intelligently, it is a bad decision anyway.
Yeah.
So to say I'm not taking any risk by putting my money into a money market, that is risky.
Absolutely, it's stupid. Yeah.
You see. So one has to make.
Someone might decide, or some people might
They've
decide.
got to be saved. They've got to be saved from themselves.
Yeah,
because I mean, the best investment accounts you can get at the moment are yielding you less than 6%.
Yeah.
And those are the best.
Crazy.
And you've got inflation running officially at 6.6. In real terms, probably double digits, and depending on the lifestyle that you lead. You're losing money for every moment your money sits in a current account.
Exactly.
And that's the
The
problem.
risk now is that the markets are fully priced.
Yeah.
So what to do? And that is the thing. So
Does she take money out of the market and invest more in Imbalie in herself? Does she take that risk?
you see, but what you should do, I always say that when you take advice, because we all do, we're taking advice constantly, the hairdresser, the nail salon, the guy that changes your tie, we're taking advice constantly. When you do, just take note that the advice that you're going to receive is always through the eyes and the filter of the advice giver.
Sure.
So when you, for example, take advice from somebody that is earning a salary and only knows how to earn a salary and live within the means of that salary, think about the advice that they're giving you and then make your decision on that. So when you are asking advice from somebody that is employed at an institution, it is highly likely that they won't be able to empower you to lift your lid to become exceptionally wealthy. So you must choose your advice giver or your role model
Hilda, do you see yourself as a role model? Do you see yourself as somebody who's cracked it, who could have opted out, but chose to stay in the workplace and chose to build a new business?
I think people see me as a role model, whether I want to be it or not. For me, if you have been given a chance of achieving success, you have some sort of responsibility of giving back or of helping people. So that's I would hope that I could be a role model for people. And women empowerment is an issue that I see I can play a big role in, and just to be more confident in own abilities that you can make a success.
Go back 2 or 3 years. Did you make the right calls? Did you take the right proportion of money and invest in yourself and in your ability to generate new wealth and leave a balance in favor of the market?
I did, but you know what I did probably different than what I think a lot of people are doing is I sat with a team and I said to them, this is the life I want. And they said, well, they then went to their sums, okay, well, this is how much money you need to create this life. And then we worked on a plan and a strategy, how to create the money so I can have the life that I want. And I think a lot of people and women does things haphazardly. You don't have your trusts in place. You don't have your companies in place. So your investments become haphazardly, and it's not in line with any life plan or life strategy.
But that's the point, Norma. None of the stuff happens by accident.
What happened to Alice when the rabbit met her? Where are you going? I have no idea. You're going to get there. You know, you've got to have a strategy. You've got to have a plan. And you know, us little girls, when we're little girls, we always have a plan. And that's to catch a man.
I was going to say.
And I thought you guys were so sensible. Oh my word.
And then we catch
somehow
the man.
we're going to be saved by someone.
But thank goodness things are changing, I think.
Absolutely.
The little girls' plans hopefully are changing. The fairy tales haven't changed.
Yes.
And we need to chuck away a lot of the fairy tale books. But hopefully we're training young women differently.
So to remain in that form of alliteration, instead of catching a man, I'm going to make a plan.
There we go. And at that point, we'll leave it. They're going to bond on the side, and I'm going to wrap up the show. Norma Stapelberg from Consolidated Financial Planning, and Hilda Lunderstedt, who's made it once and is doing it all over again as the chairperson of Imbalie Beauty, sharing some of her thoughts and strategies as to how she's cracked it and how she plans to take it to the next level. Thanks for watching. There'll be more tonight, tomorrow. Till then, bye-bye.